Well guys, I now have over $100,000 in Uber stock, and in today's video I want to go ahead and show you exactly how many Uber shares I own, exactly what the cost basis is, and I want to talk a bit about Uber stock in general and kind of give my opinion on this particular stock. I've built it into a very big position in a couple of my portfolios. So I hope you guys really enjoyed today's video. Make sure you smash the thumbs up button and leave me a comment down there on your opinion of Uber stock. But I want you to do something. Don't leave me your opinion on Uber stock, whether you're super bullish or bearish. Don't leave me your opinion now. Wait to the end of the video, and whether you love this stock, hate this stock, or whether you're somewhere in the middle on this stock, leave me your comment at the end of this video. Watch this video first to do that for me, okay? All right, guys, let's start going through this. So first thing I want to mention here is I rarely buy into a stock that went IPO in its same year. Meaning, let's say a stock went IPO less than 12 months ago. I rarely ever buy that stock. And in Uber's case, this is a stock that's went IPO less than 12 months ago. This is a rare situation where you see me go ahead and jump into a situation where a company went IPO less than 12 months ago and it went onto the public markets. Why do I not do that? Well, most of the IPOs I want no piece of just in general, but also a lot of times when these companies go public, they're overvalued. And a lot of times when these new stocks come out there, their stocks go up a bunch more. So sometimes these stocks will come out and they're already overvalued. Then their stock goes up a bunch more and it makes it significantly overvalued. So in a lot of those scenarios, I just don't want any piece of it. And there are very few times I can think back where I bought into a company within 6 to 12 months of it going IPO. And the last time I think I did something like this, it was a long time ago. You know how long ago we have to go back? The Facebook IPO. There was a stock I ended up buying like 4 to 6 months after it went IPO. And this was a stock that went IPO around $38 a share, and the stock just fell and fell and fell. And you could get the stock well under $20 a share. And unfortunately, with the Facebook situation, I sold out after I made a little profit in that stock. I bought it for well less than $20 a share. I made a little bit of money and I sold out. And that was a little lesson to me that, you know, sometimes you got to hold on to these stocks, because that little Facebook company, it grew into be a monster over time. And the reasons I had gotten in that stock and I bought it in the IPO, everything ended up coming true down the road. And it ended up growing into a stock that well over 10x since I bought into that stock. Now, by the way, Facebook's actually my biggest position in my public account nowadays, and I have like $153 cost basis. But I learned from that situation to believe in myself, and when I saw an opportunity like this on a beaten down IPO stock that I thought had huge potential and huge profit making opportunity in front of itself, to just go ahead and disregard what everybody else says, believe in myself at the end of the day, in my decision making. And obviously in Facebook, everything I ever thought was going to come true for that company came true. And I'm not saying that's going to happen here with Uber. I'm not saying Uber is going to be the next stock to do like a Facebook and it's going to be a 10x plus stock over the next 5 or 10 years. I'm not saying that at all, but there are definitely some similarities, okay? Uber's a very big company when it went public. Guess what Facebook was when it went public? A very big company. The Uber IPO, they had talked about this would be a $120 billion IPO. And here today, the market cap is well less than $60 billion. So there's some similarities, because Facebook, the stock goes public, is $38 a share, and it fell over 50% from its IPO price in like literally a snap of fingers. And here we are with Uber, another massive tech company, like similar to Facebook in the respect that people just don't understand it. The company last year at this point was talked about to go public for $100 billion to $120 billion. The market cap on it's less than $60 billion now, so the market cap's been cut by over 50%. So you're definitely seeing some similarities between the Facebook IPO and the Uber IPO, okay? Now, I believe a lot in this company, and I don't want to spend 20-30 minutes going into my full bullish thesis on Uber stock. I've done that on several videos in the past, but I'm going to share a few things with you. And it really has to do with Uber's profitability in the future, in my opinion, okay? Here's the dealio with Uber. So everything I've done as far as my studying with Uber stock and whatnot, I believe this company will be profitable, will have a positive net income as soon as 2021. And the CEO, Dara Khosrowshahi, who I can never pronounce his last name right, I apologize, Dara, if I don't pronounce your name right. And he has stated in the past that he believes Uber is on the path to profitability in 2021 will be the first time they actually make profits, okay? So I believe the company is going to be profitable in 2021, and that's a huge change from the huge losses they've taken in the past. In 2023, I believe net income from Uber will pass $2 billion. Now, if we had Dara in the room and we could really get him to talk about these type of, future out numbers, I believe he would actually probably think that number's very low. I don't know, but I would guess he would probably think that number's actually really low. But I like to be somewhat conservative when I go in with some of these numbers for some of these companies. But 2023, I have the company pegged as a minimum of $2 billion positive net income, which means the company will be very, very profitable at that point. In 2025, which is the furthest I like to look out for a company, I like to go the furthest out about 5 years, I believe the company's net income will pass $5 billion, which will mean it's a very, very profitable company on the bottom line. Now, keep in mind, in terms of the stock market in general, $5 billion is not like a really ridiculous number. Those type of companies, the Apples, the Googles, the Facebooks of the world, those sorts of companies are already making $10 billion plus of positive net income, never mind in future years. A stock like Facebook, for example, I believe that will be a company that in the future has positive net income of $50 billion plus. So a number around $5 billion is certainly not a crazy number. Now, this isn't the only unprofitable company I've ever bought in the past in terms of they were losing money on the bottom line, and I expected them to get to a lot of profitability. I rarely buy these type of companies that are money losers. I usually like to buy into profitable companies, but every once in a while, I'll see such a big opportunity in front of that company over there that I have to buy some of that stock. And this other stock, I started buying this stock in 2018. I held on the sidelines from the stock for a long time. I didn't buy into the stock. I believed a lot in its future, but I waited and I waited and I waited, and I saw an opportunity in the stock because I believed they were going to turn to be a profitable company. And this stock was Tesla. Good old Tesla stock, ticker symbol TSLA. I started buying the stock in 2018 because I believed they were on the verge of profitability, and then there are a ton of things going for the business in general. But the thing that really pushed me over the edge was the fact that I believed they were on the verge of profits. And what ended up happening over time? Well, sure enough, the company started making profits. The company 3 out of the last 5 quarters has had a positive net income on the bottom line. And the company is expected to have 4 of the last 6 quarters to be profitable quarters because almost every analyst out there expects the company to have made a profit in this most recent quarter that they'll announce here in a few weeks. And never mind that, the company is expected to have positive EPS next year of nearly $6 per share. So with Tesla stock, there were so many things I saw for this stock, and I started buying in 2018, but mainly because I looked at this company and I said, this is a company that historically has lost a ton of money, and it has a ton of negativity around it because they've been a money loser and they've just been burning money. And some people think they'll never make money, and when I looked at the business fundamentals, I was really able to view a stock there that this company's on the verge of profitability. And when they start making the profits, the money's going to start pouring in hand over fist, just like the losses were pouring out of the company hand over fist. And so when I look at Uber stock, I see a very, very similar thing going on, okay? So needless to say, any of this talk about Uber's lost a ton of money in the past and they'll never be profitable, I think that's just crazy. Absolutely, Uber's lost a ton of money in the past. You know what? The past is a past. I wasn't involved with the stock then. All I care about is what's going to happen for Uber stock over the next 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. Anything in the past, it is what it is. It's all historical information, okay? Now, in terms of how many Uber shares I own and what are my cost bases on this stock, well, I own it in 2 different accounts, okay? One account, this is actually the public account. I own these particular shares, which is available for everybody in my private stock group to see. In that account, I own 1,535 Uber shares. The current value on those shares is $52,143. We are up as of right now $8,165. And real quick, I know some people ask you if you plan on selling that stock anytime soon. Absolutely not. This is one of those stocks that's a long-term hold for me, okay? We're up 18.57% as of right now. Our cost basis on these particular shares on average is $28.65. And then I own Uber stock in one of my private accounts, and in that particular account, we own $50,275.60 to be exact. 1,480 shares. Cost basis on this one is $28.96, and total gain loss on this one is $7,414. And we're up 17.3% there on Uber. Everything's going well as of right now in regards to Uber. And if you're thinking, if the stock continues to roar higher, am I going to go ahead and sell it? And absolutely not. This is a very similar situation to like my Tesla investment where I don't really care what the stock's at in the short term. This stock could go to $40, it could go to $45, it could go to $50. I don't care because I believe this is a type of company that has a multi-$100 billion opportunity in front of themselves. And I believe it's a type of company that's going to be extremely profitable in the future. And so for me to sell out of a fast growth stock like this that's on the verge of profitability and within a few years from now is going to be an extremely profitable company, it just doesn't make sense, okay? Now also, analysts have this company losing $2.37 a share in 2020. I believe that number is actually a bit high. I think there's actually a decent chance they'll lose less than $2 a share in 2020, which if they lose less than $2 a share in 2020, then this company's on a path to definitely have a very profitable 2021. Now there's something that kind of bugs me in regards to Uber stock and some of the commentary I see around this stock. I see a lot of people hating on the stock, saying negative things about this stock. And I've seen this time and time again, not just with Uber stock, but with other stocks in the past. When there's a stock out there and people just like, I'm just confused, like, I don't get it. The company's lost a lot of money in the past. You know what? It's a loser stock. I don't want to be anywhere near it. I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to go out of my way to hate on this stock. And I've seen this time and time again, and I've even been part of this problem with different stocks in the past, where maybe I didn't understand the business model at a particular time, and so I just hated on that stock or something like that, and that's never a good decision. If you fully understand a business, if you have fully looked into that business, and you believe the company's overvalued, you believe the company doesn't have a future in front of themselves, and things like that, it is perfectly fair game. But what I've seen with the stock like Uber, since they went IPO, there's a lot of people just heard about they lost a lot of money in the past, and they're like, that's kind of a new business model, I'm not used to that, and therefore I'm going to hate on that. I've seen that with many stocks over time, including this one that's on my chest right now, Tesla stock. This was a stock that lost a ton of money for a long time, and people are like, I just don't get it. Wait, they're making electric cars, and these cars are supposed to drive themselves, and their CEO is this Elon Musk guy, and he's erratic, and they lose a ton of money. They lose all this money. Look at the losses this company takes, and people just would check out. If you told them anything about Tesla stock, they would just check out, and they'd be like, they lose a lot of money, therefore it's a loser stock. And that's usually a very bad decision whenever you're going into a stock and making a purchasing decision or not a purchasing decision. You should at least be willing to like hear what's going on out there and research this and understand these type of business models and understand, yeah, this is a good stock, or no, I'm kind of in the middle on the stock, or no, that's a very bad stock. But the fact is, I haven't really seen anybody out there really hate on Uber stock who has actually fully looked into this company. I believe if you fully looked into this business model and you fully looked into the future years, I think it's very hard to hate on Uber stock or not think the stock's a buy. But if you're going off of headlines that, oh, they lost a few $1 billion last year and they lost this amount of money in the last quarter, and if you're making judgments off of that and you don't really understand the competitive landscape, how it's lessened, and how these trends for the businesses that Uber is in are just getting bigger and bigger, when we're talking about ride sharing, when we're talking about food delivery, when we're talking about the freight business, and never mind all the other future businesses that Uber will go into. When you talk about all those different businesses and you look at the trends, those things are just getting more and more popular. But there are less and less companies that are really able to scale and compete in these spaces because companies like Uber have gotten so big that you can't just like all of a sudden make a little app and everybody's going to be a bunch of drivers on and you're going to have a bunch of customers. That's not the way it works. Like if you're in the United States and you need a ride somewhere, you're going on one of two services. You're going on Uber, you're going on Lyft. There's no like third party there or something like that. And there's especially no fourth or fifth or sixth guys. It's just too hard to compete. So for those different reasons, I absolutely love Uber stock. It just bugs me that people are confused about the business model and they've seen the companies taking losses in the past and they hate on it because that's usually a poor decision. Just imagine all the people that have short sold Tesla stock over time and they weren't thinking about the future. They were still in the past and they were like, look at the company loses so much money, they're going to go bankrupt. And they were just misguided and they just weren't really looking into this business fully and what made it special. And I see a lot of similarities right now with Uber stock. Uber stock, I'm looking at two companies as similarities. I'm looking at Facebook when they went IPO, and I'm looking at Tesla that people just didn't understand. They just like the company lose a lot of money. And therefore, if you told them anything positive about Tesla stock, they're like,
I don't want to hear it. They lose a lot of money.
Thank you for watching and have a great day. Don't forget, now you can share your comment on Uber in that comment section. Peace.